Hello, 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 and welcome to today's episode of Her Talk Show. This podcast is dedicated to the growth mindset. You see, I believe that you know something that I don't know, and I also believe that you know something that I don't know. And the only way for each of us to both rise in our knowings is to sit down in a room and share all the things. For those of you that are new to the show and love content like this, make sure you hit that subscribe button, follow, like, and share. I am your host, Sabrina Victoria. Let's jump right in.
We come to you every day with the best speakers, relationship coaches, spiritual mentors, trailblazers, business owners, authors, young hustlers, podcasters, entrepreneurs, fitness trainers, therapists, financial advisors, and more. We ask our guests one question. What do you know that I don't know? Get ready, because today's guest is about to change the way you view your world. This is Her Talk Show, hosted by Sabrina Victoria.
Thank you to those already jumping on live. This is Her Talk Show. We have had over 500 women grace this stage, and we are adding another one to the list today. If you're watching us live, welcome. If you're watching us on the replay, make sure you hashtag replay so that we can send you some love. Either way, if you are watching this video, if you could do us a huge favor, if you could share it wherever you're at so we can get more eyes and more ears on the awesome content that we are about to share. As I said, this is Her Talk Show. We inspire and we have you thinking outside the box in no time. Today, I'm speaking with an amazing woman named Debi Voris. Debi's transformation of releasing 70 pounds at 49 years old and becoming a half marathon runner at 51, OMG, drove her to become a certified holistic health coach. She is passionate about revitalizing women's lives who are stressed, have hormonal problems, and difficulties releasing weight. I hear you on that one. Her background makes her an ideal weight loss coach, and she offers mindset coaching to guide her clients to optimal health, mindset, and lifestyle. Super excited to talk to Debi today. Welcome.
Well, thank you for having me.
Yes, thank you. I am so excited for this. And this is good timing, I feel, because this is right around the time when people start to get a little tired. They're not really seeing all the results from their New Year's resolution. Maybe they got a little late of a start. And I think right around March, April, May is when people just throw the towel in and they're like, let's just party. And they throw all the goals out the window. So I feel like this is really good timing because this is a nice reset. And I know that there's a lot of women that are our age that are just not seeing the quick results that we were used to seeing in our 20s. And we forget that we have gotten older and our bodies work differently.
Very true. But age is just a number. You can release weight at any age. And it's just what you eat and put it in your body, and also your mindset as well.
You know what? I want to dive into that because that's interesting. Because we're told, I shouldn't project that. I have been told that as you get older as a woman, it is harder to lose weight. Is that just a myth?
Well, I actually started losing my weight at the age of 49, but really it's what you eat and how you handle life. Because your mind, the way you think about things can cause stress. And the way, if you don't stay in tune with yourself, you're stressing yourself out as well because you're letting outside factors in your life stress you. When you start getting stressed, what that happens is it triggers cortisol. And cortisol will make people eat unhealthy processed foods. It will obviously spike insulin. It will make your thyroid inactive. And also, it will make your adrenal glands taxed, so you won't sleep well. All this can slow down your metabolism. So it's a behavioral thing in a way, as well as what you eat.
Do you think it all comes back down to stress?
Stress doesn't help because look at what happened in the last few years. People became more isolated, made them more stressed emotionally. And stress does slow down your system because not only does it slow down and make you eat unhealthy foods, but it will also protect your hormones as well. And the hormones are a natural stress in life, but you can balance them out at any age. And it's important to have balanced hormones so that they don't get stored in your fat, which makes it hard to release weight. And the foods that we eat, some of them have, can have pesticides or toxins in them, which also can make things, hormones and toxins store in your fat, making it difficult to release weight as well. So it's a factor of a lot of things. Stress doesn't help. Not eating a clean diet doesn't help. And the way you approach it with your mind doesn't help.
Yeah, makes sense. So, this podcast comes with a question. And so I'd like to know, what is the one thing that you wish all humans knew that you know?
Anything is possible, and that's kind of open. But what I'm trying to say is when you start delving into what you need to do about your health, you're going to be so happy that you did, because you will live a more fulfilling life with more energy. I had no idea I would go down this health journey at all. And it was for a photograph that was in a Christmas card that made me aware that I was overweight. So being aware about your health and what you can do is really important.
So it was a Christmas card that gave you the epiphany?
Yes, it did. And I started crying my head off. My husband saw my tears and got me a weight loss program for Christmas. And I committed to it. And I released a total of 70, but it was a keto program. But when I released 50 pounds, I felt awful. I had no energy, wasn't feeling good. And I was doing everything they were telling me to do, taking supplements and things like that. But I just was so tired, dead as a doornail. And another program came into my life, a supplement program came into my life, and it changed my world. It gave me natural energy within 4 days. And I felt so much better that I noticed that I've always had foot pain in my foot, and I didn't have foot pain. I started running on a treadmill. And that's how I got up to half marathons, was, starting to run, and did my first half marathon at the age of 51. So, and then I lost an additional 20 pounds and kept it off over 9 years. And all of that was because of a new supplement program. And when I was at the weight loss journey clinic, a nurse came up to me and said, "What the hell are you doing?" And I said, "I just took a new supplement program." And she said, "Continue what you're doing, because your cholesterol and your blood sugar are on the normal range, but they dropped dramatically." And that propelled me forward to become a certified holistic health coach. So my awareness taught me a lot about how to release weight, because I learned a lot of things at this weight loss clinic. And I also learned how to keep the weight off. So I've learned a lot of things. And also I learned that our foods later on with my, certification are just not as nutritionally deficient as they should be. They're 70 to 8% deficient. And that's why supplementation is the key to health, especially minerals. And it also depends on the minerals that you take. So,
yeah. What were some of the big epiphanies that you recognized in this journey as far as food versus working out?
okay. I worked out, originally majority of the weight loss was with walking. Okay. And so walking is a great way for exercise. The running came in after I got more energy. But during the process, I did a food log. And the food log taught me a lot of things about values of food. Whenever I was in a plateau of some reason, I would look at this food log and say, what's causing this plateau? Believe it or not, for me, it was rice. I love sushi. And it was rice of all things. And so I stopped eating the rice. And I got, I was having less plateaus. And of course, there's little tips and tricks I teach people when they hit a plateau, what they can do. But, you look at the food and say, is this food really working for me? No. And what's interesting, I look in my past life before my weight loss journey, and I look at what I've learned. There's things I was eating in my 20s that was killing me. And I couldn't eat foods with oils. And I started cutting back on foods with oils. I started cutting back on sodas and sugars a long, long time ago. And there's a reason for that. My body didn't like it. You got to pay attention to where your body is processing, and it's giving you signals all the time. And there is a brain-gut connection. So what's really important is that you listen to your gut, and not only for intuition, but if something's going on where your stomach is really messed up and you have cloudy thinking, it could be the food, so you got to pay attention to all that. And that's why the journaling is so important. And that's what I teach my clients, is that they need a journal, and they need to, keep track of what's going on. And it's a great way to use a journal is to find out, a food intolerance thing where you just cut out everything and then slowly bring things back. And you'll find out really what foods are not working for you and what are. And another thing I learned was about with the values of food is that fiber is really important. Let's look at a butternut squash, and let's look at spaghetti squash. They kind of look similar, like they're a little different shape. But the spaghetti squash has a lot of fiber in it and lowering the carbs. And that's what it taught me, how to look at carbs and fats and proteins. That's what a keto plan really helps you with. And the spaghetti squash is really low in carbs, but the butternut squash isn't. So it's not really a useful, it has a lot of sugars in it. And the fiber counteracts the sugars. So it's really important to pay attention to what you put in your body. And
which one would be best?
The spaghetti squash.
Really?
Lower in carbs. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's really important with the value of foods. And then later on, as life went on, our foods and, our fields are being sprayed with Roundup and pesticides and all this other stuff. Unfortunately, those things do, cause problems for our hormones. And they also, the pesticides and the toxins and the excess hormones get trapped in your fat, making it difficult to release weight. So it's important to have that clean diet. So I always recommend organic produce, even though it is deficient. That's why you need supplementation. Your body's kind of like Swiss cheese because our produce and our meats are so deficient in nutrition. And that's why supplementation is such a key, which I never thought that before. I used to be a Flintstone vitamin girl. So it was like I barely took anything until I started down this journey. And what's really important is just have a clean diet. So I recommend organic produce. If you're going to eat meats, then you need to eat meats that are from grass-fed cows, free-range chickens, and wild-caught salmon because they have cleaner diets. We consume those proteins from them. They got to have a cleaner diet. And that's very helpful. So those are the type of things I teach my clients, that's very important for them to know.
Yeah. I really like, first of all, you said that you started it with walking. What was your, for women who are listening, who are maybe don't do much, but they want to start doing stuff. What did you start with? Walking down the block, walking a mile? What was your first?
Well, I went to the gym and I was always walking on a treadmill. So I would walk 40 to 50 minutes on a treadmill. That got replaced with running later on when I felt better. And my friend said, "Oh, that's nothing. Come running with us." And that's how I started running. But another thing that's really important is that you can do a lot of walking in your life and you don't even realize it. You can, not park so close to the entrance of any store and walk in. You can, if you're in a shopping mall, don't use those escalators. Or if you're on an escalator, walk up the escalator or use the stairs and then walk down. And then at my home, if I couldn't because they always tell you to get 10,000 steps a day, right? So at home, if it was a rainy day, I would just go up and down the stairs. And I have a parrot downstairs. I hope she doesn't start screaming. But I would walk around the parrot, walk around the house downstairs, go back upstairs, back down. I was constantly doing that. So I did my own little stairmaster type of thing. So just walking is so ideal. And I also did Pilates because is a great way to stretch your muscles and relax. And it's almost like yoga, but not quite like yoga. So those are the things I used to do.
That's great. The other thing that I really appreciate you mentioning that is so easy that somebody could start is the food journal.
Hmm.
And I totally agree with you. There are so many individuals that don't recognize that the food that they're eating is causing the headaches, is causing the stomach aches. They just think that like they have a headache, but it's actually from the food that they're eating. And we just, as Americans at least, just pop aspirins or pop Tums as if it's just like candy, like it's no big deal.
And Tums are not very good for you because you need to have the right alkaline in your system and also the right acids in your system to be able to digest foods. So you need the right pH, okay? And that's what I help people with, make sure they have the right pH. So they don't have to pop those Tums or anything like that. So yes, if you pay attention to your body, you'll find amazing things. You'll find out what's causing your headaches, as well as what's causing some digestive upset. There might be like arugula. It's not something I can eat very well because it's kind of hard for me to digest, and it might be for other people too. But I'm aware of it, so I just don't eat that. I eat butter lettuce. I eat something else in my salad so that I can, have a salad. But pretty much, I have, if you want to, I have eggs in the morning. That's what I eat in the morning. And I spice them up in different ways because I never make them boring. And then I have a salad in the afternoon. And then I have a nice warm dinner at night because I want something warm, comforting. And so that's what I do every day. And that's how I keep my weight off.
What
And
about for those that like snacks?
I don't snack. People that snack means they're not getting enough nutrition.
Ooh, tell us about that. Okay, because there's a lot. There's sweet people who swear they have sweet tooths.
Mm-hmm.
I swear that I have a salt. I love chips and olives and pretzels. So how do we curve that in our meals?
In your meals? Well, you want to make sure that you're eating a clean diet. That would help, okay? Now, I recommend that people go gluten-free. And you don't need to like all of a sudden do a cold turkey type of thing. But when I went on my weight loss journey, I was only allowed a half a piece of bread. And I got to the point I was like, why bother? And I stopped eating gluten. And I never ate pastas or anything like that. Now, the reason why you want to go gluten-free is because I know that's the basis of our standard American diet, which is really a sad diet. But gluten corrupts the villi in our intestinal tract. And the villi is like the Assyrian enemy in our intestinal tract that grabs for food. And when it's healthy, it looks like this, and it grabs for food. When you eat anything like from wheat, oats, rye, or barley, it collapses the villi, shortening it so you cannot absorb the nutrition that you eat. And you end up eating more and you snack more. Now, stress will cause you to snack too. So what you need to do with that is you got to think of other things to eat other than potato chips and things like that, because they're like low value foods. But if you want something crunchy and crispy, then eat a carrot, cut it thinner. You can even, celery is a great thing to do. I know that sounds kind of boring, but you can add salt to it because salt's not the problem. And I would add Himalayan salt versus, regular salt, because it actually has some minerals and stuff like that in it. And you can also, dip it into, if you're don't have a problem with dairy, you can make like a dip with, sour cream, or you can make a dip with, guacamole, whatever you want to do. Those are healthy fats. And as long as they're organic, you're fine.
Makes sense. What are your thoughts on juices and smoothies?
Okay, juices that you get from the market are just plain sugar. And even if you juice, you lose the fiber. You have some fiber, okay, but you lose the fiber. And the fiber is important to regulate the blood sugar. Smoothies, smoothies you can control it a little bit more, but depending on the diet that you're on, smoothies can cause issues. They can be a little bit more on the sugary side. And then keto, I wouldn't recommend a smoothie, but the shakes that you can have, because a lot of people make smoothies out of fruits and berries and things like that. Some people make them out of vegetables. It's better to make them out of vegetables, okay? And only because they have less sugar in them. It's just like looking at the values of foods. If you look at the values of vegetables versus fruits, you're going to have a lot more sugar in there. And if you have a blood sugar problem, it's not a good idea to do things with, fruit, like bananas, oranges, things like that, okay? But if you're going to do something with, blueberries or strawberries, they have less sugar in them, and that's okay. So pay attention to what you put in your smoothie, and make sure that it's organic, and if you're, stay away from soy, okay? Because a lot of people go for that almond milk, and they go for the soy milk, and they go for whatever. The best one is actually coconut milk. If you can't handle dairy.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, I'm allergic. I'm lactose intolerant. I didn't know I was lactose intolerant. My parents found out when I was like 12. I would have these horrible stomach aches. I was basically on a diet of, growing up, string cheese, cottage cheese, macaroni and cheese, big glasses of milk with Oreos, big bowls of cereal. It was all cheese, Kraft cheese, which I don't even know if that's
It was all milk. Yeah.
And
the problem with milk, it has lactose in it, right? But believe it or not, heavy cream doesn't have the lactose because it's not processed like milk. And I was lactose intolerant too, just like you. I was brought up on cereal with milk. I was brought on cottage cheese and string cheese, that same thing, mac and cheese as well. Gluten doesn't help you, okay, number one. And sugars don't help you. And the combination of sugar and gluten actually corrupts your intestinal tract, and toxins can leak into your system. It's called leaky gut, creating different things going on. It brings inflammation to different body systems and health issues. But once I started going down that keto way, and keto is not for everybody, and I do offer other plans other than keto. It's kind of like I cleaned out my system because I was burning so much fat. It boosts my metabolism to burn fat because you create ketones, and ketones kind of gobble up the fat like Pac-Man, okay? And I lost a lot of fat weight, and all of a sudden I'm like, because they said you can eat cheese and things like that. I was able to eat cheese without a problem, but I'm not eating Kraft American cheese. I was eating like brie. I'm sorry, I go for the fancy stuff. And I love goat cheese. Goat cheese is what I do now as I'm older. And I can eat ice cream now. Every time I ate ice cream, I had to go, 20 minutes after I ate it, I had to go running to the bathroom. Seriously. So I did have a lactose problem. Now, everyone is different. Your lactose problem may be different from mine because everyone's microbiome is completely different with different type of bacteria in it, okay? There's good bacteria and bad bacteria. And possibly my bacteria is, handling that a lot better than it used to, and possibly yours won't. But my whole point is I can eat things now that work because I was lactose intolerant, and I couldn't eat. I still can't eat beef, and I will never eat beef for the rest of my life. But I can eat things, with dairy in it now. I don't have much of it, but I can.
You can't eat beef, or you choose not to eat beef?
The worst side effects I had was with beef, and I cannot eat beef. And it's probably because during that time they started giving beef, antibiotics or whatever they were giving the beef at that time in my life. I went vegetarian one year. I tried to go back eating beef. I just couldn't. And I did like beef. I loved prime rib. I loved all this other stuff. I was like, I couldn't eat it anymore. It just made me sick. It made me run to the bathroom. And so I stopped eating beef. But that was the only meat I couldn't eat anymore.
Interesting. So for those that are listening, they're here live. Hello, by the way, for those of you watching it live, for those of you watching on the replay, thank you for being here and hanging out with us. What are some steps? I love to give individuals some beginner steps. Those that are resonating with you, they're here, they're listening, they're interested, they want to start taking some steps towards their health. I know you mentioned walking, food logs. What are some steps that somebody can take just starting off?
Well, if they want to do this by themselves, they need to look at how they handle their stress, okay? Because that will slow them down. And also the way they think about things, okay? And sometimes it has to do with language. It's just the way it is. But the first thing they want to do is drink plenty of water. You need to drink half your body ounces in water a day, because what that will do is flush out the toxins and everything else while you're losing your weight. Keep that food log, like I said before, so you can tell what's going on. And exercise, if you've never exercised before in your life, you can break up your exercises maybe into 2 15-minute sessions a day, morning and night. Or maybe you want to take a break at your work and you want to go, 15-minute walk. But always keep your body moving. Because when you keep your body moving, it not only helps your body circulate blood, it releases stress, it uplifts your emotions. Of course, it tones and strengthens your muscles. And it'll help you sleep better if you keep on exercising something. And having good sleep is very important for releasing weight and hormonal issues as well. And, just try to do that and build up upon it. Now, I didn't start off doing 40 minutes right away. A lot of people just cannot do that, or 50 minutes. Just break it down to bite-sized pieces. So whatever you're doing, if you think it's too hard, you can make it. Just break it down into bite-sized pieces. And you may want to get a coach so they can help guide you with what those bite-sized pieces are.
I agree. I like that. Very awesome. What was your biggest shift as you were on your journey and you were realizing that you were actually doing it? You were keeping the weight off. You were accomplishing what you ultimately set out to accomplish. You look back and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm freaking doing this. What can people expect? What's the feeling that you had?
It's just ultimate joy. Pretty much, I think what really spiked me and got me up into that blissful feeling, was when I started running. I never ran my whole entire life. I never ran in middle school, elementary, or high school. And I wasn't able to run because I had foot problems. And I was told by doctors, you will never be able to run. And I started running. And it was like this disbelief of something just got released. It was almost like, and then my friend says, oh, running on a treadmill is nothing. Come running with us. Well, I did take that treadmill underneath me, those treads out, and started running. And it's such a freeing feeling. And I just love it. And I never thought I would do half marathons. It was like me. When my friend asked me to do it, I was barely running with her. And she says, oh, we're just going for a half marathon. Come with us. And I'm like, are you nuts? But I decided to do it. And I actually finished before they did, because I got so hooked by, it was almost like a stampede going off. And they're like, Debi, slow down, slow down, slow down. And I was like, whoa, I was out, And I got to admit, she was a runner her whole entire life. I wasn't. So it was like a freeing, exciting feeling. And, every year that goes by, my anniversary is in November. So my 10th anniversary will be this November. I'm so happy. I like to buy clothes, but I don't need to buy clothes because I got fat or anything like that. And I got to switch out clothes for style, and that's about it, But it is so nice to be able to fit in a size 2 or 4 when I used to be in a 12 or 16. So dropping that weight was a relief. And I wasn't a very happy person back then. I had a lot of stress on my plate. I was taking care of my mom with Alzheimer's and a small chopped infant. So it was a relief to be able to smile again. So.
That's wonderful. I so appreciate you being here and sharing such awesomeness with us. There's people watching live right now. I'm certain there's going to be more people watching on the replay. Can you let us know who should be reaching out to you? Who do you serve? And what exactly is your business?
Okay. Well, my ideal clients are women who are stressed, want to release weight, and have hormonal issues. That's what I'm attracting. So those are my two clients. And they can reach out to me at Debi Changes Lives, as well as they can find information. I love educating people. So a lot of my stuff is educational, but they can look at Debi Changes Lives on Instagram for reels. And I have Debi Treasures on Facebook. And then YouTube, I have some stuff too. After I run, I do something called Happy Runner Chats. So you can find more stuff on YouTube on that. And I come up with ideas to handle stress, how to concentrate on yourself, how to break things down to bite-sized pieces and things like that. I share that type of stuff. But one thing I want to share with your audience is I have a little offer, and it's called Empowering Your Health, because I do help people with health as well as weight release. And I help people with individuals and teams are great. They can reach out to me for more information on anything I offer. And that offer is bit.ly, bit.ly/Debi, DEBI -offer. And that offer is 4 parts. You'll get that journal that you can fill out. My journal is the Mind and a Health Journal. So you list your gratitudes, and you list how you feel in the morning, you list how you feel at night. That's your journaling. It could be as simple as that. They can journal more if they want. And also you keep track of your food. There's a food log and there's an activity log, and you also keep track of the water intake you take. And that's the first part. And then the second part is that I do free consultations that they can come and talk to me to find out how I can help them. And if they move forward, they can do a health evaluation. And with that health evaluation, it's based on symptoms and goals that I create a custom holistic strategy custom to them. And I review that health evaluation with them to indicate what they may need and what they not need and what would be best for them. And finally, there is a 30-minute free coaching session that I offer to your audience. So, and they can use it for mindset. Some people have used it for, how can I improve my keto? And so you can use it whatever way you want it to use it.
That's awesome. Why do you do what you do?
I do what I do because I was so happy with my results and being able to keep it off. And I never thought I would go down this health journey. Like I said before, if I didn't say it, I'm saying it now. And it's amazing that what you can do when you commit yourself to it, you have the desire and determination. And a lot of people just don't pay attention to their health. And there's alternative things you can do to improve your health. And it's important to pay attention to nutrition. And that's about all I can say, because what you put in your mouth is what's going to happen, being processed by your cells, making it healthy or unhealthy. And you have 330 billion cells being produced every day.
Wow. 300, what is
billion, it? Billion with a B.
Billion.
I just did a reel on renewing with healthy cells. So yeah, how to renew with healthy cells. It's a really short reel.
Is that every day?
Yeah, it's every day.
So every day are
you have trillions of cells in your body.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. People don't realize that. And the cells are so small. It's interesting. We have so much stuff in our air that's so tiny that we have no idea, nano-sized things that we take in breathing, take in in our water, take in anything that we're exposed to outside. Now, I'm not trying to, scare anyone, but you can only do what you can do. Just, control what you eat.
Mhm.
Make sure it's clean.
Yeah.
And make sure you drink filtered water, and make sure that, that you stay exercised and sleep well.
Yeah, definitely. What is your biggest wish for the women listening right now?
My biggest wish is to do your self-care. We're coming up to Mother's Day. Love yourself. And self-care can mean much, relaxation, being pampered. It can maybe time off. It can mean anything you want to do, or do something fun like hiking. I go hiking on Mother's Day. But just enjoy yourself. Be with your family, have fun, and smile.
Beautiful. Well, I so appreciate you being here, hanging out with us, and sharing just amazing information that I really appreciated this because I really feel as if the things that you are sharing, people can easily do to feel as if they are making some sort of progress. I think one of the biggest hurdles people deal with is they feel like they have to know all the things before they get started. Like they have to read the entire diet book or the entire health book before they can actually start moving forward with a healthier lifestyle. And that's not the case. I mean, you gave some really good examples here as far as, handling your stress, drinking plenty of water, starting to just walk. I mean, that's so easy. You can literally just walk outside your door. I absolutely love it. So, as far as people connecting with you, websites, social media, where do you hang out the most?
I hang out the most. Well, you're going to see posts on social media, but they're welcome to reach out to me. People say I'm very responsive, whether they send me an email. They'll read my story, and they'll see some reels and things on my website. But really reaching out and talking to me is the best way, because you really get to know me and what I can do for you. Because you can read as much as you can by on something. Like you're saying, you're studying books here and there, but you really need to reach out to somebody to see how they can really help you. And chemistry of connection and be able to have with your coach, whoever you work with, is really important. So I just reach out to me, talk to me. I'm not going to bite.
Beautiful. Well, thank you so much, Debi. I so appreciate it. For those of you listening live, if you resonate with Debi and all the goodness that she shared, make sure to reach out to her. Her website is in the clickable link in the description below, and it's also right beneath her face area, right on screen right here. We love to connect people in order to make sure that we all continue to rise. Any closing thoughts, Debi, as we close out?
Well, it's interesting. We got a comment, love yourself. You're loving yourself will make you so much happier and make you healthier. So the emotions and everything else are so important. And you always want those positive emotions. And stop judging yourself against others. That's really important. That's one step forward to loving yourself.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for joining us today on Her Talk Show. This community is expanding every single day and is filled with females who are striving to do better than they did yesterday. For those of you that are new to this podcast and like content like this, make sure you hit that subscribe button, follow, like, and share. If you have something to share, make sure to reach out to us at hernation.life. I am your host, Sabrina Victoria, and I'm so grateful to be here sharing a platform that allows people to share their truth